Hello, welcome to Claire's Food Haven Mum's Mondays. Today we're going to make you a festive cake. It's not a Christmas cake as such, but a lot of people can't eat rich fruit cakes, and this is a nice cake. It freezes well, and at this time of year it's a nice, easy, fairly festive cake. It's based on Mary Berry's best apple cake, but with some variations. So first of all, I'll run through the ingredients. We've got 225 grams, that's 8 ounces of self-raising flour. We've got a level teaspoon of baking powder. We've got 6 ounces or 225 grams of castor sugar. We've got 2 large eggs, which I'm going to beat lightly in a minute. We've got half a teaspoon of almond extract, which acts as a flavouring in the cake. We've got 5 ounces or 150 grams of melted butter. I've melted this in the microwave, probably took about 30 seconds to melt. And then we've got 2 pink lady apples. And we've also got a pound or 454, I think, grams of cooked bramley cooking apples with a little bit of sugar that have already been stewed down, and we'll be adding those in. The cooked apple isn't in Mary Berry's recipe, and it does change it quite a little bit. And then Mary Berry says you put some almonds on the top, but we don't use the almonds, but we do use the cooked apple instead. As you've probably heard, Alan's got a bit of a cold, so you might hear the odd cough. Right, so that's the ingredients. So first of all, I'm going to grease this tin and see if I can get the greaseproof paper to stick around the sides of it. The bottom doesn't seem to stick, but the sides of this apple cake do seem to stick quite a lot. So that's my first job. I've got a butter paper. Some more butter. Hopefully that butter will act as a glue, you'll see. I think that's okay. Well, hopefully that will stop the sticking. Now I'm going to assemble the dry ingredients before we do the apples, because I don't want the apples to go brown. So I've got the flour. So now I'm going to assemble the dry ingredients before we do the apples, because we don't want the apples to go brown. So I'm going to put the level teaspoon of baking powder into the flour. That's good, we've finished with that. I'll put that away. Now I'm going to add in the sugar. Now I'm going to beat the 2 eggs. Just beat them lightly. Oh, I've just spotted a bit of shell. That needs to come out. That's good. And now I'm going to put the half teaspoon of almond extract into the eggs. And give them a whisk, just with a fork. Oh, I can smell the almond, it smells great. It's a lovely smell, it is quite a Christmassy smell. Now I'm going to put the butter in. And the eggs. And I think that's all the dry ingredients. I'm just going to check the recipe. Yep. So now I'm going to mix it together. It's quite easy to do because the butter's already melted. I'll have a beat now with the wooden spoon. A lot better. I think that's about the right texture now. So, we're ready to go. So next, about half of that mixture is going to go into the bottom of the cake tin. It's quite stiff, so I'm trying to spread it around on the bottom of the tin. So that's about half the mixture on the bottom of the cake tin. And now I'm going to put the cooked apple on top of the mixture. Lovely. And now I'm going to put the cut up slices of Pink Lady onto the mixture. So now I'm going to peel the Pink Ladies. I've already washed them. Some people have noticed the way that I peel the apples. This is the way that my mother used to peel apples, and it's an early memory of mine, and I always try to get them into one piece. Now I'm going to try and arrange the slices of apple as neatly as I can round the cake. It's a bit silly really, because when it's cooked you can't tell. It just looks nicer at this stage. Oops. It's a very moist cake. I like it with Greek yogurt. Alan likes it on its own. Maybe there's an easier way of doing this. If you start in the middle and work outwards, it might be easier. I started on the outside and worked in. That's as much apple as I need. So that's the apple sliced on top of the apple puree. And now I'm going to put the rest of the cake mix on top of this. And you never feel that there's enough. And with it being so claggy, it's difficult to spread. So I'm going to dot it about first and then try and spread it as lightly as I can, because I don't want to disturb the apples too much if I can help it. This scraper is great for getting right into the sides of the bowl. I'll see if I can get it to the sides. It will sort itself out in the oven to some extent, but I want to help it along its way as much as I can. There we are, and the apple's reasonably well covered, and that's the cake ready to bake. And it's going to go into a slow oven. That's 140 fan, 160 without a fan, gas mark 3, for at least an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 3/4. We'll be checking it after an hour and a half, see how it's getting on. That's the oven up to 140 fan. So I'm going to put the cake in. And we'll set a timer for 1 hour 30 minutes and we'll have a look at it after that. So the cake's been in the oven for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I'm going to take it out and check it. Because it's quite a wet cake, I'm going to check it with a temperature probe rather than just looking at it. Cake looks lovely. There's a hole in the top because I've already probed it once and it wasn't warm enough. I'm looking for it to be as close as possible to 100 degrees. That's cooked enough and it looks great. Now we're going to have to wait for it to cool down to get it out of the tin, and we'll cut into it tomorrow and you can have a look and see what it's like. Thanks for watching. Hello, it's the next day now and we've waited for the cake to cool, taken it out of its tin, and I've dusted it with icing sugar and put a few little decorations on it. So it looks a little bit festive. I'm going to cut into it now. So this is the apple cake. As you can see, there is a layer of apple at the bottom and then a layer of sponge. I'll let you see the cake that's been cut as well.
And now I'm going to try it. Wow, that's really appley. And the top is really crunchy. There's a great contrast between the appley bottom and the spongy, crunchy top. I think that's a great cake. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel, Claire's Food Haven. Thank you.